Hi, I'm Denise Ortiz of MindBodyHealing.biz. Thanks for joining me for this February podcast. This month, I'm going to talk about something that we love, being that it's the month of love and Valentine's Day. But along with that love, there's also a love-hate relationship that goes on. Now, what is it I'm talking about? Our love-hate relationship with change. We love change. We ask for it all the time, something new, something better, something different. We can also hate change for a lot of those same reasons. I don't want it because it's different. I like things the way I have them all along. I want something better, but I hate to think about changing what I'm already doing or having, so maybe I'll just leave it alone. So it gets confusing that what we want so much can also be the angst for so many of us. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about finding out how to navigate change and to make it a little easier for you. Now, we're about a month out from the beginning of the year where we all make our wonderful New Year's resolutions. Everybody has a resolutions. You know that's been going on for over 4,000 years. They've been doing those resolutions. Used to be done back in Babylonian times where they would resolve to become better warriors. But now it's more, I'm going to quit smoking, stop drinking for dry January, and maybe do some better things at the gym. However, out of 100% of the people who make resolutions, 90 of them never come to fruition. Mostly it's because it's easy to say, I'll do this, I'll make this change, I'll make that change. But as we start going into it, many of us find making changes hard. And in some ways it is, but in other ways it can be very easy, all depending on how you approach it. So you've got your New Year's resolutions for the year. You've set your goal, you've envisioned your dreams, but you're feeling a bit stuck, not sure how to move forward. Well, there's some rules that were used in the past that you may be familiar with, and a lot of people try them, and sometimes they worked, but most time they kind of fall short. One thing was setting your goals, the SMART goals: simple, measurable, achievable, results, and a timeline. Well, that's great. But then when you fall back and say, this isn't working for me, you hear things like you didn't plan for it or you didn't plan on setbacks. You forgot the reason why you were doing it. You took on too much too fast. You were overzealous. You didn't have a strong support network. You weren't accountable to anybody. It wasn't that important in the first place. And the one that I hated to hear about the most was, you're afraid of success. Well, listening to all of those things that you've heard makes you just not want to even start. You don't even want to try because everything you're hearing is a put down to you. I wasn't good enough. I couldn't do this. I made it something that I just couldn't keep. I am a failure. So putting these high expectations and deadlines and timelines just don't work. It just makes me want to give up. And who wants to be defeated before they even get started? Now, making changes involves a few things. One of them is not just making it, but the way you think about it. Blocks and long-term habits can get in our way sometimes. But with positive suggestions, visualizations, which, by the way, is the language of the subconscious mind. So if you want to talk to that subconscious mind to make some change, visualizations can help. And then you can retrain your brain. Act as if it already is. Not it's going to be, but it is. Try to keep it in the present. If we keep putting it out to the future as something to go towards, it's out there, I'll get it once I get there, you'll never be in the moment. You'll never see the change when it happens. You'll still be waiting for more things to come. Every step that you take in regards to making changes are small steps. It's easier on you, easier on your psyche, easier on your body and your emotions. Now, one of the things I used to help a lot of my clients with making change as a hypnotherapist, I would tell them first and foremost, self-talk. Be aware of your self-talk. Things like, I always get confused when I'm trying to learn something new. Instead, could be said as, when I feel confused, I'll ask questions which will lead me to a better understanding. Or I'm not good at meeting people. Instead, it may be more of, I find it hard to talk to people in very busy public places. So I will invite them to quiet, relaxing places instead. And the one that most of us have probably went through at one time or another. Why do things never go my way? How about asking, what do I need to make this happen for me? There's a few steps that you can do before you get started on your changes. Number one, determine what area of your life you want to make that change, okay? Is it in your relationship? Is it in your career? Is it just in your self advancement? And then focus on a time in that context, okay? A time when you were extremely motivated or really felt it. For example, if you're saying, I want to have a better relationship, okay? Think about a time that you felt in a really good relationship in your past, whether it be with your parents or your coworkers or the love of your life or your friends or your neighbors. When you had a great relationship that made you feel good and you felt wonderful in that space, in that energy, get in touch with the feeling. It doesn't matter the time, how old you were, where you lived. The feeling that are attached to those emotions is what you're looking for, because every thought is accompanied by an emotion and a physical response in the body. Now, that's always true, and you can't have one without the other. So even if you don't feel all of them, they may be so subtle you may not even realize it. And it can happen in an instant, but all three things do happen simultaneously. So, in order to retrain your mind and body, anchor a desired thought, a desired feeling, and a desired emotion, maybe even a physical sensation that you love, like a habit or routine. Just link the three of these things together, and it will take your mind into a space of learning to allow these things to happen in your life. So, again, you want the emotional, the physical response in the body, and the thought all to connect. Here's a simpler example. Do you remember ever walking to a kitchen? Maybe it was your mom's, your grandmother's, your aunt's, and smelling the special cookies that they were making that they were famous for. So right away, the thought of, oh, I love cookies. Then the taste takes over. The smell takes over. It comes back to you instantly, like you're right there in that kitchen. You could feel the happiness inside, the emotion of, oh, this is so comforting and so wonderful. And the physical sensation where your mouth actually starts to have the saliva just waiting for that cookie to be eaten. Our minds are very powerful if we can learn to use them correctly. So putting these things together can help you go through changes. Now, change seems hard because we're getting out of old habits. Also, when we're changing for something of the unknown, say, for example, a career, we're moving to a new place, we have a fear of the unknown, unfortunately. It's just been pounded into our head. Instead of being excited, as you were maybe when you were a child, yes, we're going someplace new. Isn't this wonderful? Isn't this fantastic? Instead, we think, oh dear, what's going to be facing me now? Because unfortunately, our society has gotten quite negative in recent years, and we become more fearful as adults. So we've got to bring ourselves back to a place of a child saying, what adventures are waiting for me? Start changing your perspective, change the way you think. And as you think, your emotions will say, oh, this is much more fun of going on an adventure than struggling through a hard change in the new year. I don't know if I can do it. But now, with the emotion of, this is great, this is terrific, I can't wait until I see the results of what I'm doing to make these changes in my life. It's going to be wonderful. Most of the time, you want to change because you just want something better. something that will make you feel happier, something that will bring more joy and pleasure into your life. So change is a good thing. Why we ever thought it was bad, where that ever started, I don't know, but we need to change going forward. Don't look back too much about what went wrong. Be right in the here and now. What can I do right now to make myself happier? The other thing you have to think about change is the reason why. Is it changing to make others feel better for pleasing others? Or are you changing to make yourself happier? The latter is the better way to do things because you can't change to please others. If someone is unhappy about the way you're doing something or reacting to you in a negative way, that's their issue. That's on them. If you're doing the best you can, the people around you that you need to be around you will come to you and be part of your tribe. And those that don't like what you're doing, even if it makes you happy and it bothers them, they'll start to move away and step out of your life. Because if you're not happy, no one around you will be happy. And here's a very simple way that you can bring happiness as an example, just to remind yourself how simple this can be done. My husband and I love to talk to people everywhere we go. If you know me, you know how true this is. We will walk into a supermarket and start talking to the girl behind the counter, especially the one that's looking a little down. Maybe she had a bad day, maybe a bad customer that just started yelling at her. As we start talking, we'll start asking her questions that will make her smile, tell her jokes, make fun of something outside, anything to distract her mind from the negativity into a positive state. And before you know it, the person in back of us hears the laughter and the joking and they want in on it. What was that? Oh, I heard that too. Now they're discussing it. The person who just left the line backs up and says, wait, they're having fun. I want to be a part of this. So what were you saying? What was the joke? And now they're laughing. And before you know it, there's people coming from other areas of the store. The manager wants to know what's going on. I see a couple of people gathering and they're all laughing and having fun and getting louder, and it's contagious. The laughter, the positive energy, the good feelings, just the sunshine that comes out of us when we're having a good time naturally attracts people because everyone wants this. Do you know a person on the planet that does not want to be happy? That doesn't want joy and happiness and peacefulness in their life? Well, in just a little bit, I'm going to do a little mindfulness meditation on that you can listen to over and over again. But the point about change is that it's almost always for the better, depending how you look at it, depending on your perspective. Wayne Dyer, who's written so many books, and you may have seen some of the things that he did on TV, on PBS and other places, he gave a great example of a changing situation that someone was taking as something terrible and it turned out well. He met a girl on the plane who said, I'm not having a good day. He said, why? What happened? She said, well, I just lost my job. He goes, congratulations. And she replied, I don't think you understood what I just said. I lost my job. To which he replied, that's great. You've lost your job. You now have an opportunity to go out into the world to do whatever new type of job you want. There's new explorations that you'll get to make, maybe even change your career. This is an open door to a beautiful, exciting, unknown time. Congratulations. And he said, get in touch with me in 6 months and let me know how it works out. Well, she did 6 months later, and the job she lost was something that was making her miserable, but she put up with because it paid the bills, and ended up taking those skills and putting them into a job. And she's a photographer with her own business, with her own timelines. Days off are up to her, and she has control of her life, which is making her happier. So what seemed to be a bad situation can change into something that's really wonderful. Now, not everything works out exactly as planned, but for the most part, as long as you look at things in a better way, look at things in a positive way, and push that positive energy forward to make changes go forward, to make your life better, Pretty soon, the things that have made you sad will start going away. The most important thing that you can do is realize that everything you need comes from inside of you. The love, the compassion, the peace, everything you have inside of you is there just waiting to be tapped. By changing the way you think or do things will enable you to access what's truly inside of you, the true being that you are. Then you can go on to live the life that you were meant to live. It starts from inside. It's not the cars, it's not the job, it's not the clothes, it's not the notoriety or fame. It's what's inside. There are many happy people who have nothing, and people who have everything who are miserable. Maybe they're afraid to lose it. So stop judging by the old ways and find some of the newer ways. Now, if you're struggling with things inside and you want to get happy and can't quite get there on your own, by all means, seek the help that you need. You could go to a therapist, a hypnotist. You can go to a counselor, to your clergy, to someone to help you get rid of the blocks, maybe get you past the bad times that you're going through a little bit more. But keep looking inside for those answers. Don't go back too far to reach, why did I get here? I'm here now. What do I need right now to move forward? That's the best way that you can handle it. And now a brief meditation to help you with your changes. If you're ready for change, are you ready to trust in the process? What is your process? Recognize it. Become a little more aware of what you're doing to get where you want to be. But the truth be told, it may not be a where, a place, but rather a state of mind. Let your body and mind relax. Breathe in and out very gently, very slowly. As you let go and allow your mind to open to new thoughts, new ways of being, and just building or looking for ways, things, energy, and visions of the peaceful and joyfulness that almost every being on this planet desires deep inside. It's the paradise, the bliss, the feeling best described as home. We all get there in different ways and at different times. Yet the collective goal is peace and joy. From almost everyone you meet, it seems that this is the way to find that peacefulness, that joy in the quiet stillness inside your heart and your soul. If you possess that, it seems that most everything else will dissolve away. Things that are no longer needed and no longer serving you. If you do have to be around situations that are not perfect for you or the most comfortable, try your best to minimize it. Observe it, but don't absorb it. With these common goals, there is a wide variety of paths and timelines for you to get there. This is your individual journey. So don't compare, don't judge, and don't expect high expectations. Let's all try to at least find the joy within us. And by being on the same page with this, we can begin to form closer communities with our friends, neighbors, co-workers, family. And with that joy, we can move forward in more peace and tranquility day by day. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I'm so glad you were here. As you know, I'd have a podcast every month. that previews on the 15th on YouTube. If you'd like to stay in touch with us, you can find me on my website, which is www.mindbodyhealing.biz. You can also look at the end of this video where you'll find information where you could sign up for the email, find out about some of the programs that I offer online, and some of the MP3s and CDs that I do as well. So I'm wishing you a very good February. And remember, change is constant and continual. So make it work for you. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.